We've all heard stories about mythical creatures that dwell in the depths of the oceans and rivers. But the real question is, are these just legends, or did some of these creatures truly exist? In today's video, we'll explore 8 incredible, mythical beings that have terrified, fascinated, and even inspired humans for centuries. And I promise you, the last one will completely blow your mind. So without wasting any time, let's dive right in. Nøkken, the water spirit of Scandinavia. Our journey begins in the cold rivers of Sweden and Norway, where people believed in the Nøkken, a dangerous water spirit. At first glance, he appeared as a handsome man, sitting quietly by the riverside, playing hauntingly beautiful tunes on his violin. But this was no ordinary music. According to legend, those who followed the sound would soon find themselves hypnotized and dragged beneath the water, never to return. The people of Scandinavia feared him so much that they carried iron or steel objects whenever they traveled near rivers. These metallic offerings were said to be the only way to protect oneself from his deadly charm. The Nøkken is so deeply embedded in Scandinavian folklore that even modern shows like The Witcher reference him. Was he real? Perhaps he was inspired by the dangers of icy rivers and drowning accidents, but the myth gave a face to these tragedies. Megalodon, the monster shark next. Let's talk about a creature that wasn't just a myth. It was real. The Megalodon was the largest shark to ever roam Earth's oceans. Growing up to 18 meters long, that's about 3 school buses lined up, it was an apex predator with teeth the size of a human hand and jaws powerful enough to crush a car. It dominated the seas millions of years ago, feeding on whales, dolphins, and even other sharks. Fossilized megalodon teeth have been found all over the world, from North America to Japan, proving just how widespread this monster was. Here's the chilling part. The ocean is still largely unexplored, with more than 80% remaining a mystery. Some people believe Megalodon might still be lurking in the darkest depths. While scientists say it went extinct around 3 million years ago, the mere possibility that it could survive keeps the legend alive, making Megalodon one of the most feared and fascinating creatures in human imagination. The Indus Worm. Over 2,000 years ago, Greek historians described a terrifying beast in the waters of the Indus River. It was said to be a giant worm hunted by locals for a rare oil. What made this oil so special and deadly was that it could ignite instantly upon contact with air. No remains of the Indus worm have ever been found, but history shows us that giant invertebrates once roamed the earth. Take Arthropleura, for example, a massive millipede-like creature that grew almost 3 meters long during prehistoric times. Imagine stumbling across something that size crawling near a river. Perhaps the Greeks misinterpreted fossils or natural petroleum fires as evidence of a living monster. Or maybe, just maybe, the Indus River once did hide a gigantic worm-like beast. With many of Earth's rivers still unexplored, who can say for certain? 4. Loch Ness Monster. The mystery of Scotland. For centuries, the Scottish Highlands have been home to one of the world's most famous legends, the Loch Ness Monster. Locals call her Nessie. Descriptions vary, but most stories describe her as a long-necked dinosaur-like creature swimming through the dark waters of Loch Ness. The legend exploded in 1934 when a photo was published showing what appeared to be a serpent-like creature rising from the lake. For decades, this photo was considered proof until it was revealed to be a hoax, just a toy submarine with a fake head. But even after this, people refused to let go of the story. Some believe Nessie could be a surviving plesiosaur, a marine reptile that somehow escaped extinction millions of years ago. Despite countless searches using sonar and underwater cameras, no hard evidence has ever been found. Yet the mystery of Nessie continues to draw thousands of visitors every year, proving that sometimes the power of legend is stronger than the absence of proof. Leviathan, the sea beast of the Bible. The Leviathan is one of the most terrifying creatures mentioned in ancient texts, including the Bible. Described as an unstoppable monster of the seas, the Leviathan was said to breathe fire, twist like a serpent, and crush anything in its path. Some texts describe it as a giant coiled snake, while others depict it as a dragon-like beast. While modern science dismisses the idea of such a creature existing today, it's possible that ancient people based the myth on real encounters with massive sea animals. For example, the fossil record reveals creatures like Mosasaurus and Plesiosaurus, giant marine reptiles that dominated the oceans millions of years ago. The fear of something so big and unstoppable gave birth to the legend of Leviathan, and even today the word is used to describe anything of massive size or power. Was it real? Maybe not exactly as described, but the oceans of the past certainly held beasts that could have inspired it. Titanoboa, the real-life monster. Snake. Unlike most myths, Titanoboa is no legend. This colossal snake actually lived around 60 million years ago in what is now Colombia. Growing up to 50 feet long and weighing over a ton, Titanoboa was the largest snake ever discovered. It didn't use venom to kill. Instead, it crushed its prey with enough force to snap bones instantly. Imagine a snake longer than 2 buses and as thick as a car tire, silently slithering through swampy rivers, hunting giant fish, turtles, and crocodiles. In 2009, paleontologists discovered its massive vertebrae in a coal mine, some the size of a human head. The discovery shocked the world and proved that monster snakes were not just stories. Some explorers even claim to have seen similar giant snakes in remote jungles, suggesting that Titanoboa might not be entirely gone. Could it still be out there, hidden in the unexplored Amazon rainforest? The thought alone is enough to give anyone chills. Anubis, the guardian of the dead. Moving from the oceans to mythology, we meet Anubis, the jackal-headed god of ancient Egypt. While not strictly a sea creature, Anubis is tied to mystery, death, and the afterlife. In Egyptian belief, Anubis guided souls to the underworld and judged their fate. But what inspired this myth? Archaeologists believe it may have come from the scavenging behavior of real jackals. These animals often prowled near burial sites, giving Egyptians the impression that they were guardians of the dead. Over time, the jackal transformed into a powerful deity with supernatural authority. Today, Anubis is one of the most recognized figures in mythology, often appearing in movies, games, and books. Though not a real creature, his legend reminds us how human imagination can turn natural behavior into something divine and mysterious. Cyclops, the one-eyed giant. Finally, we arrive at the Cyclops, the fearsome one-eyed giants of Greek mythology. These creatures were said to be towering, brutal beings that lived in isolation and struck terror into anyone who crossed their path. But where did this myth come from? Scientists suggest that ancient people may have discovered fossilized skulls of dwarf elephants. These skulls have a large central cavity that looks like a single eye socket, even though it was actually the nasal cavity for the trunk. To ancient eyes, it must have looked like evidence of a monstrous one-eyed giant. Over time, these discoveries evolved into the legend of the Cyclops. Whether real or not, the Cyclops remains one of mythology's most iconic monsters, showing how science and myth often blur together. So there you have it, 8 mythical creatures that might not be so mythical after all. From river spirits that lured victims with music to prehistoric predators like Megalodon and Titanoboa that actually ruled our world, these stories remind us that myths often carry a hidden truth. Which of these creatures fascinated you the most? Do you think giants like Titanoboa or Megalodon could still be alive today, hiding in unexplored parts of our planet? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the mysterious, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories from the hidden corners of history and mythology.